whose music was so strange that orchestras refused to perform it. But today, he's considered one of the greatest musical innovators. Well, I want to tell you about an American composer by the name of Charles Ives. Charles was born in Danbury, Connecticut in 1874. His father was a Civil War bandmaster and very influential in his musical life. His father, George, believed that music should be experimented with, not just simply memorized, but played around with, and Charles took this on. Charles was taking lessons from his father, and he learned piano, he learned organ and composition, but now his way of learning and his father's way of teaching was a little unconventional. For example, he would have to sing a tune in one key and then play piano in a different key at the same time. Or they would be out, and his dad wanted him to really listen to two different bands playing two different songs at the same time, and where they overlapped and where they didn't. His father really wanted him to explore dissonance and strange rhythms and just keep trying new things, and he did. George Ives taught his son Charles that rules in music were not laws. They were just tools to be followed. He did not like the orderly music and said it doesn't always need to be orderly. So all these composers in America that were really going the European style or the more pleasant style, that's not what Charles was doing. He was like listening, what does American life sound like? And started really loving the idea of chaos and just a truth in music, what he thought was a truth in music. After high school, he went to Yale and studied composition. Now, his teacher was a German-trained composer, very traditional, and there was a lot of clash. So after a while, Charles Ives realized, now for my assignments, I'm going to do exactly as I'm taught. And he was learning, right? He was learning about harmonization and a whole bunch of other things. But then on his own, in his own time, he would write things that were very clashing and unsettling and unkind. And then he graduated. And now he had to figure out, am I going to be a composer and a musician and have a hard life, or which is not always a hard life, or am I going to do something that is a financial stability? Well, here his life is different than many composers. So he starts working in insurance and actually founds a firm, an insurance firm. But it's not instead of music. It's also on top of music. This way, he did not have to rely on his music to sell. To make a living, so he could continue to be experimental and do whatever he wanted because his insurance company was making an income. Many people now know him as a composer, but actually during his lifetime, he was far more successful as a business plan and quite an innovator. And he actually came up with the concept of estate planning and was known for that, but he was composing all the same. At the time, people said, look, his innovations musically were absolutely bizarre and crazy, but now we see that he was way ahead of his time. So he's performing and composing at the turn of the century.